This is well taken here, Eddie Enright. And that's hand passed ahead to the man he's marking, Sean McMahon. A poor clearance this time, he mishit it. John Carroll firing it in. Inside to Declan Ryan. Ryan trying to go high, but he's fouled by Brian Lohan, and it's going to be a free in to Tipperary. Tip can lead by 2. Owen Kelly just 20 metres out. He doesn't miss those. Clare will hardly feel the need to go for goals at this early stage. Alan Markham tearing through. He's got David Ford outside. The pass gets into the hands of David Ford, and he's put it over. And now it's 15 points to 14. Will we have a winner here this evening? It would begin to wonder. Davy Fitzgerald firing it down. The final whistle, it's all over. And Tipperary have beaten Clare in the Guinness Munster Championship semi-finals. There's delight for you. It was a really intense contest. James O'Connor distraught. Tip took that extra point that mattered, and now they're in the Munster final, and they will be playing against either Limerick or Waterford, who meet next Sunday.
I'm hardly sure whether we won it or not, to be honest with you. It was a super game, and we always knew that we were going to get a very tight game here. I think there was a big fear of losing in Tipperary, you know, and sometimes in a situation like that players don't play to their potential, and I think the old failing at Clare, they left us in the game really when we shouldn't have been in it.
I find it very hard to believe that we're out of the championship after that. That's personally myself, I didn't believe we deserved to lose today on that performance, you know, but that's the way it goes. I suppose that's hurling. I probably wouldn't be too happy with Dickie Murphy today, and I'll say it straight out and I'd say it to his face, I don't believe he had a good game. You know, if he stopped the talking and gone on with the refereeing a small bit more, probably be no harm, you know.
Clem Smith for Limerick. Ball went by referee Pat Horan of off there. He's well used to these big match days. As Waterford send it down on top of their full forward, who has a chance of a score in the goal! Seamus Prendergast! Not even 2 minutes gone, and Seamus Prendergast has rattled the Limerick net. Mark Foley, man of the match against Cork, one of the very best hurlers in the game. Looking for the unrelated Barry Foley. Beautifully taken out of the air by Peter Queally. Fergal Hartley again. He's a good target man on the 40 to that kind of ball coming in. And John Milan has a lot of pace, and he's got round Brian Geary. Milan goes for his goal. That's beautiful hurling. What a start by the youngster. 4 minutes gone and he can do no wrong. Waterford on top, everything going well for them. Tom Feeney comes through. Such a good hurler, so consistent for Waterford. To Dan Shanahan. To John Milan. John Milan, nice ball in. He went to place a man there to Paul Flynn. Now Paul Flynn, would there be a goal on his mind, Paul Flynn? He's put it in, but the referee was going to perhaps give an advantage. Yes, it was. He was giving an advantage. Good referee. Good shooting by Paul Flynn. But where was the Limerick defence? Now Paul Flynn just got round Stephen McDonough. Once Stephen fell, the goal was opening up, but Paul Flynn shot it through. But a slight win doesn't give you a lead of 2-5 to a point. Seamus Prendergast to Fergal Hartley. Fergal Hartley over the bar. But again, it was much too loose from Limerick's point of view. TJ Ryan wins it for Limerick. No better man to rally his troops. Cross halfway. Looking for Brian Begley. Hasn't really been in the game yet, and it ran away from him there. It can break here for Ollie Moore. Would he ever go for a goal? Yes! Ollie Moore the man, and cometh the hour, cometh the man. Limerick needed that. It was a good run through by Ollie Moore. There was nothing on his mind except the goal, because he knew the big gap on the scoreboard. Barry Foley, nicely hooked there by the right half back James Murray. Kieran Carey comes forward. Kieran just trying so hard, perhaps even trying too hard at times. It's beaten out towards James Butler, but James O'Connor there for Waterford, so too. Paul O'Grady for Limerick, striking. Is there a deflection there? Landis plays it out. He saw the big man coming in. He knew it was the sensible thing to do. Waterford trying to get it out. Limerick trying to get it in. It's hard hurling. And the pole is to the net by James Butler. He got one against Cork. He's got Hurled away by Tom Feeney towards Johnny Brenner. But there's a fresh spring now in Limerick step. James Butler, he's got a lot of speed to Owen O'Neill. Well, it ran away from him, but he did well to recover it. Good work here by Owen O'Neill. He slipped it through in front of the goal. Brian Begley hand passing it across to Paul O'Grady. Lander saves it, and it's saved on the line. Great work on the line. There was so nearly another Limerick goal there, and it was Brian Flannery who proved the hero. First Landers and then Flannery. What an act of heroism. Paul O'Grady stands over the 65. Good free taker, doesn't bother him the range. Dropping towards Begley. He's got it in his hand. Begley goes for it. Begley! Watch big Brian Begley, the young Mungret master, hit the net. Now this ball hurled on by Johnny Brenner and by Mark Foley to Brian Begley. Great catch by Begley, going for a second goal. Brian Begley again. Now this is a tough phase of the game for Sean Cullinan, the Waterford fullback, who has been injury plagued in his career in recent years, and you just wonder, can he stand the pace against the young man, the young lion is Brian Begley. It's all over. Limerick are in the Munster final. 23 points to 20. 4-11 to 2-14. A high-scoring game. A game of great drama, great passages of play, great scores.
We got a fantastic start to that game. We went 10 points up, played fabulous hurling in the opening 15 minutes. But, you'd have to be realistic and say there was no way that we could sustain that against a team of the quality of Limerick.
We knew that Waterford felt at this stage that with Cork on that they had a great chance of winning the Munster Championship. We hadn't enough time to come down from the high that we had been on for the last 2 weeks, and I think this reflected in our play in the first 10 minutes that we didn't go for the ball the way we should have. We didn't contest high balls. We left loose players around the place, and it suddenly dawned after 10 minutes when we were, I think, 2-6 to point down that we were.
O'Leary beating the other Mark Foley to it. Kicked forward there by Declan Ryan, runs on neatly. Mark O'Leary hitting it, and he strikes it over the bar. Some lovely striking by the Tipperary forwards. Here's Eddie Enright collecting it for Tipperary. Up towards Declan Ryan, playing the simple game well. Kicked away by TJ Ryan. Tommy Dunn, the captain. It's left there instead. Brian O'Mara trying to feed it outside into space. Mark Foley beaten for it. Here comes Tommy Dunn, and he puts it over the bar, but they had a loose man inside, you know. Mark O'Leary was available, totally unmarked. Kerry, back to Moran. That's another nicely directed one, and it's over. What a match we're getting here in the Guinness Munster Hurling final. Back live, the pressure is on Clem Smith. He's done well. Back to Kieran Carey. Limerick playing down towards that Blackrock goal. Slight breeze behind them. Barry Foley trying to edge his way inside. Brendan Cummins coming out. Pressure on still. They're still coming forward. O'Connor was there. Begley's here as well. Still they try to feed it into space. Chance of a goal!
It's the young fella there that's got the goal. The young fella Sean O'Connor stepped in and into the roof of the net. Great start for him. Now we have a game on hand.
Stalemate at half back. One back, however, by Eamon Corcoran from J.K. Brackens. Had been the centre half back. O'Mara stopped by Mark Foley. Marco made his championship debut here. Here comes O'Mara once again. He's got support. Declan Ryan coming in, and there's a goal here. Surely!
At the moment, the trip forwards are clinical. Even with only 3 or 4 points up, any attack they've had, except the last one with John Kelly, they've scored every ball. Fantastic, good combination play. You know, they're playing possession hurling up front, and they've gone ahead again.
4 minutes after Limerick.